Why do the virtuous suffer while the ruthless rise? Why do good men lose their thrones, their fortunes, even their dignity, while deceivers flourish? If you've ever felt punished for doing the right thing, this lesson is for you. Because today, we will unmask why goodness fails in a world that rewards strategy over sincerity. Goodness, a word that has been polished by poets, glorified by priests, and taught to us as the purest expression of the human spirit. From the moment we open our eyes to this world, we are told that goodness is strength, that it conquers hate, heals wounds, and wins hearts. But if that were true, why is history written by the cunning, not the kind? Why do the names of conquerors echo louder than the saints who forgave them? Niccolò Machiavelli understood something that few dared to say aloud. Goodness is not always a virtue. It can be a weapon, or worse, a trap. Imagine a man who rules with honesty and compassion. He opens his heart to his subjects, treats them with fairness, shows mercy when they err. The people cheer his name, yes, but in the shadows, his rivals sharpen their knives. His virtue blinds him to the truth that not all men are virtuous. His mercy is seen not as strength, but as softness. His fairness invites manipulation. His goodness becomes the very tool his enemies use to destroy him. Machiavelli saw this pattern repeated in courts, in kingdoms, in the chambers of politics. The purest men were often the first to fall, not because the world hated goodness, but because the world knew how to use it. He wrote, "A prince who wishes to remain in power must learn how not to be good." A shocking idea, isn't it? But beneath that cold phrase lies the warm pulse of truth. Being good, in a corrupt world, is like walking barefoot through a field of swords. It may show purity of spirit, but it ends in blood. The Machiavellian lesson is not to abandon goodness, but to understand its cost, its timing, its limits. For goodness, when used without judgment, becomes dangerous. It blinds the wise, exposes the kind, and empowers the cruel. Think of the leader who forgives betrayal out of mercy, only to be betrayed again. Think of the honest man who speaks truth in a room full of liars, and is silenced for it. Think of the kind soul who shares everything until he has nothing left. These are not stories of weakness, but of misplaced virtue. The problem is not goodness itself, but the illusion that goodness alone can protect us. Machiavelli would tell you, the world does not reward the pure, it rewards the perceptive. To survive, you must know not only when to be good, but when goodness must yield to strategy. Goodness, you see, has two faces, one that inspires loyalty and another that invites exploitation. The art lies in knowing which face to show. The man who shows only kindness will be devoured by wolves. The man who shows only cruelty will be feared, but never trusted. The one who learns to balance both, who uses goodness as a tool rather than a shackle, that is the man who commands destiny. So, when the world tells you to always be good, remember this: goodness, when pure, is admired, but when strategic, it is unstoppable. Machiavelli's wisdom whispers that the good must learn to guard their virtue with cunning, to wield kindness like a blade wrapped in silk, to act from reason rather than mere morality. For in the dance of power, goodness is not the melody, it is the disguise worn by those who understand the rhythm of control morality, the sacred compass of the soul, the invisible law that tells us what is right and what is wrong. Every society worships it, every ruler claims to uphold it, and every man wishes to be seen as its defender. But Machiavelli, with his piercing eyes and colder reason, saw something few dared to admit. Morality always demands a price. Every act of goodness comes with a silent cost, a loss of influence, an opportunity surrendered, a moment of control slipped through your fingers. The world admires morality in words, but it rewards strategy in action. And those who cling too tightly to moral purity often find themselves crushed beneath the weight of their own virtue. Picture a prince who refuses to lie, even when deception could save his throne. Picture a ruler who refuses to punish, even when punishment could preserve order. Picture a leader who follows his moral code so perfectly that his enemies can predict his every move. In Machiavelli's world, such a man is not noble, he is doomed. For morality, when absolute, becomes predictable, and in the game of power, predictability is death. A moral man may win admiration from the weak, but the cunning will study him, learn his habits, and use his very goodness as a weapon against him. Machiavelli understood that morality is a currency. It buys reputation, trust, and love, but every coin spent comes from the treasury of power. Too much generosity and your coffers run dry. Too much honesty and you strip yourself bare before wolves. He did not reject morality, he merely unmasked its cost. He saw that to survive, a wise man must know when to spend his virtue and when to save it. For morality is like gold, beautiful to hold, but dangerous to give away freely. The cost of morality is not always visible. Sometimes it appears in the form of hesitation, that one moment when the moral man pauses to consider right and wrong, while the cunning man has already acted. Sometimes it takes the shape of guilt, the invisible chain that keeps a person bound to their past decisions. And sometimes the cost is power itself, the very ability to shape destiny traded for the comfort of righteousness. Machiavelli warned that those who wish to rule cannot afford to be enslaved by moral ideals, for the world itself is not moral. It rewards those who appear just, not those who are just. He once wrote, "A man who strives to be good in all things will come to ruin among the many who are not good." This is not cruelty, it is clarity. The truth that morality, when rigid, makes you vulnerable to those who have learned to bend it. The world is not fair, and morality does not shield you from the unfair. The moral man believes that good intentions are enough. The Machiavellian knows that intentions without results are dust in the wind. So when a man boasts of his honesty, understand that he has revealed his weakness. When a ruler flaunts his mercy, know that he has drawn the attention of those waiting to exploit it. Every moral choice carries a trade, the gain of approval for the loss of control. To live by morality alone is to play a game with only one rule, while your opponent plays with none. Machiavelli did not urge the abandonment of morality. He urged its mastery, to use it, not be used by it, to wear it when it strengthens you, and to remove it when it endangers you. For the world measures not your purity, but your results. And the man who understands the hidden cost of morality learns that sometimes the highest virtue is knowing when virtue must be silenced righteousness, the shining path that promises honor, peace, and moral victory. Since childhood, we are told that to walk this path is to find truth, to live rightly, to be good in the eyes of men and gods. But Machiavelli, ever the student of power, looked upon this glittering road and saw not salvation but illusion. He understood that the righteous path is often the one most skillfully crafted by those who benefit from your obedience. It is the path laid out by those who would rather see you noble and defeated than cunning and victorious. The world loves righteous men, yes, but only when they are harmless. Machiavelli observed that people are taught to value the appearance of virtue more than the possession of wisdom. The righteous man walks straight, never bending, never questioning the rules that guide him. He believes that to be good is to be safe, but in truth, his predictability is his cage. The illusion of righteousness makes him believe he stands on high moral ground, while beneath him, others are busy reshaping the earth itself. The powerful have always known this secret, that morality is a theater, and the righteous are the audience applauding their own defeat. The illusion is strong because it flatters the ego. The righteous man feels superior, believing that his virtue sets him apart from the deceitful. Yet Machiavelli would whisper, superiority built on moral pride is the most delicate illusion of all. When the righteous man meets corruption, he reacts with outrage, confusion, despair, but the Machiavellian smiles, for he expected it. He knows the world does not bend to moral law. It bends to influence, fear, and perception. The righteous man, blinded by his ideals, cannot see that those who appear virtuous often use that appearance as camouflage for ambition. History is filled with such illusions. Leaders who preached peace while waging wars. Kings who spoke of justice while stealing crowns. Nations that praised morality, yet thrived on deceit. Machiavelli saw through it all. He wrote not to destroy morality, but to reveal the difference between moral theater and political reality. The illusion of the righteous path keeps men obedient, predictable, and easy to control. It teaches them to suffer injustice quietly, believing that their goodness will be rewarded later. But reward, as Machiavelli knew, comes not to those who wait, but to those who act. The righteous man believes that the truth will defend him. But the truth in this world does not walk alone. It needs power to speak. The illusion of righteousness tells you that being good is enough. Machiavelli tells you it is not. To survive, one must see beyond appearances, beyond virtue, beyond the shining promises of moral certainty. The righteous path is often the easiest to walk, because it requires no thought, no adaptation. It gives comfort, not control. It lets men feel pure, even as they remain powerless. And this is why the cunning always rise above the good, because they understand that righteousness is not a path to follow, but a tool to wield. The illusion of the righteous path is the most seductive trap ever laid before mankind. It keeps the moral man blind and the strategic man hidden. It makes the weak proud of their weakness, and the powerful seem holy in their deceit. Machiavelli urges us to awaken, to see that righteousness without awareness is merely a mask worn for approval. True wisdom does not walk the path others built for you. It builds its own path, paved with understanding, perception, and the courage to see the world as it truly is beneath the pages of Prince, beneath the ink of his letters, beneath the careful restraint of his words. There lies a truth Machiavelli never spoke directly, a truth too dangerous for his time, yet too real to ignore. The world he knew is not governed by moral purity, but by perception and results. Power does not flow from goodness, it flows from understanding. The hidden truth of Machiavelli's philosophy is that morality is not the foundation of rule. It is the disguise that makes rule acceptable. The wise do not seek to be pure, they seek to be effective, and in that difference lies the entire secret of dominance, survival, and legacy. To grasp Machiavelli's hidden truth is to see the world as it truly operates, not as it pretends to. The powerful appear righteous because people demand to be led by those they can admire. But behind every noble gesture, behind every speech of compassion, there are calculations, deliberate, cold, and necessary. Machiavelli understood that the greatest leaders are not those who are good, but those who know how to appear good. He wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are." That single line is the skeleton key to his entire philosophy. The hidden truth is not cruelty, it is control through illusion. Imagine two rulers. One rules with genuine virtue, trusting that his goodness will be enough to earn loyalty. The other studies human nature, learns what people wish to see, and wears virtue like a crown. Both speak of justice, both act with confidence, but only one understands that people obey perception more than truth. When the time comes to choose between morality and power, the first ruler hesitates, bound by ideals. The second acts unburdened by illusion. The crowd cheers for both, but history remembers only one, the one who succeeded. That, Machiavelli would say, is the difference between the moral man and the master of reality. His hidden truth is not that goodness should be destroyed, but that it should be controlled. To be effective in a world of deception, one must learn to craft appearances as an artist crafts light and shadow. The great danger lies in being transparent. Those who show their hearts are easy to read. Those who reveal their full intentions are easy to stop. But the man who can smile while planning, who can praise while preparing, who can wear goodness as armor while wielding strategy as a blade, that man becomes untouchable. Machiavelli's genius was in understanding that humanity is drawn not to truth, but to comfort. People wish to believe in morality because it makes the world feel safe. The ruler who provides that illusion rules not only the body, but the mind. Machiavelli's hidden truth whispers that power belongs to those who master duality, those who can exist as both saint and serpent. It is not hypocrisy, it is survival. To act only with virtue is to be predictable, but to blend virtue with calculation is to command destiny itself. The world will always believe in appearances, so the wise will always rule through them. Machiavelli did not teach evil, he taught realism. He revealed that the one who understands both the laws of morality and the mechanics of manipulation stands above both. And so his hidden truth lives beyond his time, a truth that unsettles the comfortable and empowers the aware. Goodness alone is fragile, power alone is hollow, but the union of both, controlled by wisdom and hidden behind perception, creates something unbreakable. The world rewards not those who are merely good, but those who know how to use goodness as the mask of mastery. So now we return to the question that began this journey. Why do the good suffer while the ruthless rise? The answer, as Machiavelli knew, is neither cruel nor cynical. It is simply the truth of how the world moves. Goodness without wisdom becomes a sacrifice. Morality without strategy becomes submission. Righteousness without awareness becomes illusion. The world does not punish the good because they are good. It punishes them because they are unguarded. Machiavelli never asked men to abandon virtue. He asked them to master it, to wield goodness with intent, not innocence, to know when to forgive and when to strike, to appear moral when it strengthens power, and to act decisively when morality would destroy it. For true strength lies not in purity, but in balance, the ability to walk through the fire of deception and emerge untouched. The shocking cost of goodness is not that it demands sacrifice, but that it demands understanding. To survive, you must see the world as it is, not as it pretends to be. You must learn that goodness is most powerful when controlled, not displayed. The wise do not abandon virtue, they command it. They wear morality as a cloak, never as chains. And perhaps that is Machiavelli's greatest hidden truth, that power and goodness are not enemies, but partners in disguise. One gives the world order, the other gives it meaning, but only those who master both rule both.